Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to another of this week's reviews. We are back in the United States, and we're in Arizona, and this is Tucson International Airport in Arizona, Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra. This is a payware scenery by Feelthere. I've not reviewed any of their products for a while now, so this makes a nice change. You're looking at version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download is 696 meg and it installs at 1.45 gig. It's available from Sim Market and the Feelthere online shop too. Give you the Sim Market price because they include tax, currently €23.40, which equates to roughly $25.62 US or £20.29 UK. As ever, though, US and UK prices are all estimates taken from the euro, and they include VAT or tax, which may vary depending on your country of purchase. There are actually various discounts available if you own other products by the Feelthere team. See the Sim Market description for details of those discounts. So let's look at some of the features. You have highly detailed buildings with PBR texturing, complete modelled ground polygon including realistic decals, dirt, taxi lines and surfaces, custom animated jetways, airline parking codes and modified airport services, updated AFCAD, parking spots, taxiway names and taxi signs, improved taxiway and runway lighting, multiple objects and clutter placed over the airport using the current SDK, and improved night lighting and apron lamps. So it's a large airport, a fairly extensive project, and quite a lot's been done to it. Let's have a look at some history. So history for you. Tucson International Airport, Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra, is a public use civilian/military airport owned by the city of Tucson and operated by the Tucson Airport Authority. The airport is located 8 miles or 13 kilometers south of downtown Tucson in Pima County in the state of Arizona in the United States. It is the second busiest airport in Arizona after Phoenix Sky Harbor. The National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems for 2011-2015 categorized it as a primary commercial service airport since it has over 10,000 passenger boardings per year. Tucson International is operated on a long-term lease by the Tucson Airport Authority, which also operates Ryan Field, a general aviation airport. Public transport to the airport is via Suntran bus routes. In 1919, Tucson opened the first municipally owned airport in the United States. In 1928, commercial flights began with Standard Airlines, later to become American Airlines, and regular airmail services also began in 1930. During World War II, the airfield was used by the United States Army Air Force's Air Technical Service Command. A contract flying school was operated by the USAAF West Coast Training Center from July 1942 until September 1944. In 1948, the Tucson Airport Authority was created as a non-profit corporation to operate the airport and oversee policy decisions. A new control tower was constructed in 1958 to replace the original World War II wooden frame structure. In April 1957, airlines scheduled 21 departures a day, 15 American, 4 TWA and 2 Frontier. The first jet flights were American Airlines Boeing 707s and 720s around about September 1960. American began flying wide-bodied McDonnell Douglas DC-10s from Tucson non-stop to Dallas-Fort Worth and to Chicago via Phoenix beginning in the autumn of 1971 and continuing through to 1970s. In 1981, Eastern Airlines was operating direct Airbus A300 wide-body service to Atlanta via an en route stop in Phoenix. In the late 1980s, American was flying Boeing 767-200s non-stop to Dallas-Fort Worth. The DC-10, the A300, the 767 were the largest airliners ever to serve Tucson on scheduled passenger flights. In In November 1963, a new terminal, designed by Terry Atkinson, opened with an international inspection station. The terminal underwent minor remodelling during the 1960s and 70s, and its interior was featured in the 1974 film Death Wish, starring Charles Bronson. Further remodelling in 1985 doubled the size of the terminal from 150,000 to 300,000 square feet and rebuilt the concourse into separate two-level structures with jet bridges. In April 2016, the Tucson Airport Authority announced the Terminal Optimization Program, or TOP, which included a variety of terminal improvements including relocation and improved capacity at the security screening checkpoints, enhanced concession and revenue opportunities, upgrade of building systems, and maximizing use of space. The renovation began in June 2016 and was completed in November 2017. Tucson International Airport has one terminal. It contains three concourses. Concourse A has 9 gates, A1 through A9. Concourse B has 11 gates, B1 through B11. And Concourse C is in a separate building west of the main terminal and has one gate, Charlie 1. There are 3 levels inside the main terminal. The ground level is designated for baggage claim and passenger pickup. The upper level includes airline ticketing, concessions, airline gates, and the Transport Security Administration. The third level is designed for meetings and conference rooms and also includes Tucson Airport's authority offices. Some 13 airlines use Tucson Airport, including 4 cargo carriers. So there you go, that's a history for you, a fairly extensive history. This airport's been around a while. And one thing to say right off the bat, this is probably the best Feelthere scenery I've seen so far, mainly because of the way it sits into the default terrain. You can see by this high level shot they've got a good scenery, everything as it should be, that looks really good. And as you look slightly off airport with the roads, there seems or appears to be work done. I don't know if it's part of the default USA upgrade that was carried out, but just the whole airport and its wider environments look really realistic. There's no sort of photoreal rubbish textures going around. As you look at this view, it looks like you could be looking at the real airport. It's a wonderful job, and Feelthere have complemented it perfectly. So that's the history for you. Let's have a close look at the runway situation. Okay, so runways. So Tucson Airport operates 2 main runways, 2103 and 29 right, 11 left, and one smaller runway, 29 left, 11 right, which is not for use by commercial air carriers. Runway 29 right, 11 left, and we're looking at it now, is the longest, measuring 10,996 feet or 3,352 meters in length. Runway 2103 comes next, measuring 7,000 feet or 2,134 meters. And the non-commercial use runway 29 left, 11 right measures 8,408 feet or 2,563 meters. All the 3 runways are made from asphalt. Now the airport lies at a high elevation of 2,643 feet or 805 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -7 hours time zone. Now Arizona does not observe daylight saving time, and daylight saving time here in the UK has ended, and so the airport is currently 7 hours behind the UK. So the runways for you, here's the main one for commercial use, 29 right, 11 left. Here's the smaller one, non-commercial use, which I mentioned earlier, 29 left, 11 right, and you've got 2103 further up here that goes across. Let's start with 29 right, which features high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators on the left side. And it's all correct. You've also got centerline lighting here as well, which again is not listed on the chart but it's been added. Here are the end identifier lights, you've got the runway lighting, and again we have PAPIs on the left side. So this is all correct with the addition of the centerline lighting. Approach options here for runway 29 right, you have RNAV, GPS, Z and Y approach options, and there's also a VOR or TACAN approach option available too. So let's go look at the other end, runway 11 left. So here we are looking down the slope to runway 11 left, and again you have high intensity runway lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So once again all correct. Here's the approach lighting system with the indicator lighting, and again the only addition is the centerline lighting, which goes all the way through the whole runway. And again PAPI's on the left side. Instrument approach options at this runway: you have a standard instrument landing system, and again you have RNAV, GPS, Z and Y approach options, and VOR or TACAN approach options too. So that's that one. Let's have a look at runway 21. Here you can see the cross runway. There's the runway 21 threshold. Let's go have a look. So here we are looking at runway 21, and we have medium intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lights, and again we have PAPI's on the left side. So again all correct, but again we also have a centerline light, and yeah, not complaining. Centerline light's really helpful, especially when you're coming into land. So this runway is actually the shortest of the three runways, but it's the second one potentially to be used by commercial traffic. Let's look at the other end, 03. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 03, and here you have medium intensity runway light only, but you've also got identifier lights and this displaced threshold area, which is also lit, and again the centerline lights. No precision approach path indicators here. Both ends of this runway have RNAV GPS approach options only, so to be honest I guess really 03 is probably hardly ever used because of the lack of approach options available possibly. But nevertheless this runway is used and you have those options. So finally let's look at the non-commercial use runway 29 left 11 right. So here we are looking down the slope of 29 left to the non-commercial runway, and you have medium intensity runway lighting and runway end identifier lights, and once again you have centerline lights as well, which they've left in the scenery. There's also, as you can see, turn off and entry points from 29 right here, so I'm not sure if maybe this is sometimes used as a taxiway. Approach options for this one, where you have RNAV GPS approach option only. Quick look at the other end, 11 right. So here we are looking down the slope to runway 11 right, again the other side, the other end of the non-commercial runway. Here you can see yet again another large displaced threshold fully lit with identifier lights, and you've got medium intensity runway lighting and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So I'm guessing this runway is used partially, but it's supposedly non-commercial traffic. Aircraft with 9 seats and under, as far as I know. So there you are. Let's look at all three runways. All of the runways are grooved, by the way. You've got grooves on all of the three runway options. So that's runways. Let's have a look at the jetways now. Okay, jetway test then. Here we are on stand Alpha 2 at the main terminal on the northeast side of the airport. Brakes are on, I've connected the tug. Let's give the jetway a go, see how it is. Okay, first thing I've noticed is the stairwell's raised up, so that it probably isn't going to go into the concrete. That's a first. Okay, the wheels turn, but not quite as you'd expect them. But the connection looks quite good. Let's get down close and have a look. So that looks to be a fairly good connection. I can't see any encroachment into the skin of the aircraft from this side. Let's check the other side. So that's not bad at all. It's not even touching the aircraft, but it's close enough to be okay, I would think. You can see the hood has come across, but it hasn't penetrated the aircraft. This was a bit of a surprise to me. It's probably one of the best connections actually. It's close enough to be usable by passengers, but unlike many others, it hasn't gone through the skin. And I'm also quite impressed that the stairwell hasn't gone down into the concrete. So let's go inside the doorway and have a look. So here we are inside the doorway, and I have to be honest, that is a pretty good fit. It looks really good. I mean, I've gone back as far as I can go towards the doorway. I haven't penetrated the doorway, and we can still see the whole jetway access area completely from one side to the other. And nowhere has the hood penetrated the skin, which is really impressive. So let's open the door and see how that works. Once again, really impressive. The door hasn't infringed the Jetway in any way at all. I'm have to say I'm really surprised. Very, very nice. So far, best Jetway connection I've seen. So here's the view from inside the aircraft looking out towards the closed doors of the Jetway. So the only problem I did find is when you go close to the doorway, this happens. The hood disappears. That's kind of weird. Don't know why that is. I can't really think that it's a problem with the developer. It must be an Asobo issue. But if you get this just right, there you see a really good connection. So once again, here's the view from outside, and the only real issue I can see here is the wheel. It's gone into the tarmac a bit, but you know, as far as I know, these are default Jetways. I don't think they're custom. I don't know, but you know, I can forgive them for that. But the Jetway, the actual connection is brilliant. It's really good. Not sure what's going on here, but apart from that, it's fine. Let's disconnect the Jetway now. Once again, like every Jetway I've seen, the hood springs back. But that's fine. And there's the Jetway back in its normal position. It's fairly simple, but it's well weathered. Looks perfectly okay. And there's the raised stairwell. I don't know if that's by design, but it's a good idea and it clearly works. So there you go, that's Jetways for you. Let's get down to the airport proper and do a real tour, see what's good about this place. Okay folks, so let's start the main tour, and I thought this time we would start in the far southeast corner of the airport, showing you the extent of the development that's been done here. It's quite extensive, it's a huge project. On a big airport. So we're at the extreme southwest end. What you're looking at to the left is runway 29 right, and in front of us you've got this parking area. So as we proceed forward to the right, you've got the ramp for fixed engine jet stands for people to do jet run-ups. So you've got the blast screen there to the right. Taxi signage looks good, there's plenty of it. There's the windsock. And as you can see, I mean, it's quite a long way to go, yet they've done the airside road and the taxiway to its fullest extent, which is excellent. I mean, it's huge. This place is absolutely huge. So there's the fire station directly below us there on the right. And here's the air cargo ramp. So here's the east ramp with loads of clutter, bits and pieces. I mean, it looks really good. And there you can see as well on the far right hand side you've got some solar panels. They make extensive use of solar panels here. And here we've got the main apron. There's my aircraft parked on Alpha 2. Plenty of detail, plenty of markings and muck on the ramp, which you expect to see. Fuel farm down there to the lower right. Here's the control tower. We'll look at it closely in a bit. But you can see the extent to which they've developed this. This is really quite good. It's one of the most detailed Feelthere airports I've seen, to be honest. So this is labelled a restricted area on the charts, and you've got the Air National Guard up here. As you can see, plenty of jets, military jets. And again, the detail is pretty good. They really have done some work. Now this little section here is noted on the charts as the arm-de-arm area for the National Guard. And here we are coming along to the west ramp. This is north of runway 2103. And again, some nice detail. Buildings are all weathered and textured. That's great, it's really nice. And various business jets and hangars down there to the right. The threshold of runway 03. Here we're coming onto the south ramp, and actually in the distance that's the actual control tower. So not sure if I got two or whether the other one was just the original that's not used. But again, some nice detail here. It's great, it works. It really does. They've done a lovely job here. See if we've got anything in the tower. Okay, so the tower looks to be just okay outside but nothing inside. We'll have a look. As you can see, the tower's empty. But nonetheless, you've got really nice buildings and more solar panels down there. The whole thing looks great. And here you've got more hangars and bits and pieces. And I really just like the way this blends in with the default scenery to the right there. It looks pretty good. And there you go, that's about as far southeast as you can go. It's quite a huge project. So while we're here, let's look at some taxiway signage. Here's the taxiway going on to 29 left. You can see you've got the runway entry signs there. There's looking 29 left itself. And again, we have working wigwags, just as they should be. So here's 29 right, and you can see you've got the huge rubber markings down the runway and the exit signs there. And as you can see, you've got working wigwags even going onto the non-commercial runway in front of us. So more signage properly built into the concrete, and you've got this amazing concrete weathered effect which looks really good. Blue airfield edge lights as well, which is what we need too, since we don't appear to have centerline lights, but we'll look at that during the night time. So that was a brief look at this end and some of the taxiway signage. Let's get down to the ramp where we are and have a close look. So here's my standout for two close up. Jetways look fine, and you've got the building weathered and textured and appearing exactly as it does in the real world. Just a close-up look at the headstand there. You can see this effect in the windows here. Not sure if this is parallaxed or whatever. Probably would be better to see that in the dusk. But here you've got the power unit here, and everything looks really weathered. And here you can see what we saw earlier. You've got the gate stairwell there that's raised off the ground, so this one doesn't go into the tarmac, which is pretty cool. So a little closer look at the building. That does look to be parallaxing to me. It doesn't seem as though there's any internal development. But as you can see, the ground markings look great. You've got oil stains, but it looks pretty realistic. Plenty of clutter, all the right stuff. Multi-story car park there with cars in it, and again the building itself structure is actually fully weathered. And there you can see more work that's been done, and it actually extends way out of the airport here, complete with the road. 3D modelled all the way out, which is great. And you've got this beautiful view of the mountains in the distance. So here's landside. a bit more in the way of photo scenery here, but it's not too bad at all. It's at a higher resolution, so it works a bit better. There you've got the covered car park down there to the left with solar panels on the roof. Here's another landside shot showing you the terminal from landside, and it looks great. It really does. It's not terribly high resolution, it's not absolutely crisp, but you know, in this scenery it seems to work. It doesn't need to be. Another thing I really like about this scenery, you've got Sequoia cactus here. Arizona is famous for this cactus. It only grows in Arizona. You've got Sequoia cactus, which only grows in the Sequoia National Park. But this type of cactus, really, as far as I remember from my research, only grows in Arizona. And here it's included in the scenery, which is marvellous. And just a close-up look at landside. It looks nice, and you've got these little covered areas where people wait to get in their cars and they're protected from the sun. July and August in Tucson, temperatures get over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, getting into the high 30s centigrade. Another little close-up shot there, and nice little touch, they've included this little area here. So I just wanted to show you this as we look towards off airport. Here you can see the edge of the scenery here, but you know, because of the way that the US has been updated and upgraded, this scenery works pretty seamlessly with the default. It doesn't seem to be much. You only see these odd joins here. But from a higher level, which you've already seen in some of my earlier shots, this scenery really fits well with the default. So we're going back airside again. Let's have a look at some of these structures. Here's the fuel farm. Some nice detail. Now this was, or still is, the control tower. Not sure which is which really. There are two of them marked on the charts. The one we looked at earlier on the southern side, and this one on the northern side is not listed as a control tower on the chart. And again, you can see it's empty inside. So this is the Tucson Executive Terminal, and that may have something to do with it, but here's a view from the other side anyway. And again, you know, it just looks nice. It is a very nicely done airport, I have to say. The foliage, the palm trees, everything has been nicely placed. Some of the ground is low resolution, but you know, it works. I don't know why, but in this case it works. Here, I mean, this isn't very high resolution at all, but it just looks weathered, and so it works. For me, it works. You've got this great tarmac texture. And here we are going across the northwest end. This is sort of down pretty much to general aviation. Here you can see plenty of parking. I get the feeling that 2103 is used by these guys quite a lot. Plenty of planes. Again, all weathered buildings. Taxiway signage looks good too. And you see how far this work goes out. So now we've got the Air National Guard here. So various hangars with jets in them. Military vehicles down below as well. It's very impressive. It looks highly detailed, but without a lot of work done. It's lovely. It's really good. And again, little bits of detail that merge into the default there as well. So this is the south ramp with the industrial area. It looks great. It really does look good. Look at the weathering on top of those buildings. Okay, so that was a daytime tour, a brief tour. There's an awful lot to cover here, some of which I'm not going to be looking at too closely because we could spend hours looking at it. They've done a real big job on this airport. Let's lower the light down to dusk now and have a look at the ground lighting. So before we go right down to dusk, just wanted to show you this here. This is sunset, and look at the beautiful red glow on the airport. This is just a fantastic place to look at this time of the day. And there you have the sun going down in the distance. It's just beautiful, it really is. So we'll lower the lighting right the way down now. So 5:20 in the evening, it's late November 2023 here, and the lighting came on about 4 minutes ago. But as you can see, it's beautiful. It is just such a beautiful location. The ramp lighting looks quite good from here, even though we're high up. And as you can see, there's lots of subtle lighting, and you still have this amazing view of the mountains in the background. So there's the two runways. 29 right is the main one here, and 29 left, the non-commercial runway there. And as you can see, plenty of subtle lighting on almost every hangar and building you can see within the scenery, and the work goes right the way down here to the blast area. And there we are looking to the north. There's what appeared to be the old control tower. Fuel farm is nicely lit here, and this is the executive terminal. And again, more work here, lots of subtle lighting going around that you can look at close up. There's the west ramp. And again, plenty of subtle lighting. So let's get down to our airside ramp and have a look, see what it looks like. So here we are, stand Alpha 2, here's my aircraft parked there. Nice to see the jetways lit, not only the jetways themselves, but you've got the end doorways lit up too. And here you can see what we suspected was parallaxing, and it actually is. It just looks better during the night. Let's get a bit closer. So it doesn't look too bad close up. This looks a bit bright, but then you've got these powerful lights above it here, so that's to be fully expected. This looks pretty good. This looks a bit bland, but I suppose it all depends on the angle you view it from. But you've even got little bits of work here down on the windows down below, all of which brings this to life a bit more. So we just do a quick pass up across the ramp area here so you can look at the lighting. I mean, it looks lovely. It really does look good. It's a bit powerful here and there, but the effects are really nice. I mean, here's a really nice effect. Here you can see clearly inside through the glass, although this is a parallax effect, there's nothing in here. And here you've got offices on the ramp area and some of this really nice subtle lighting. This is some of the best I've seen. And it just works. It works really well with the concrete texture and the building texture. It gives a certain realistic feel about it. Once again, you get this lovely effect, and the place just looks real. Really comes to life at night. So here we are landside, and you can see some of the signage and lighting looks really excellent. It's very nicely done. I got lots to say, lots of praise for this, and to be honest, I'm very surprised. So a little close-up look at the terminal landside to look at some of this signage here. And the lighting, it really is nice. It's very nice indeed. Again, parallaxing on the windows there to give the right effect. Here you've got the upper level. That's lovely, it really is lovely. A bit devoid of activity, but then, you know, you can't have everything. If I had my way, this would be full of taxis and people waiting outside, animated people and all sorts. But I have no complaints. It's been beautifully done. So here you've got the multi-story car park. Again, some very nice lighting. Not an Asobo globe in sight, which is excellent. It's really nice. And as you can see down there, lots of little subtle touches to improve the way things look. So a quick look down here, there's the cargo apron. Here's the fire station. Would have been nice to see a fire tender outside. I don't know what they look like at Tucson Airport. But again, you can see development all the way down to the blast area in the lower southeast corner. So let's have a look at signage. There you can see the wigwags, and you've got the edge lights as well. No green centerline lights. Let's cross the runway. But yeah, lighting's fine, it's effective. All that you need. There's the end identifier lighting on 29 left. And as you can see, yeah, it looks fine. So if you needed to use this, you could. So we have a look at this area here. Again, some very nice subtle down lighting that looks really good. And here you've got slightly off airport, but you see how well it mixes. The scenery just works with it. There's a control tower. A bit of subtle lighting coming from inside, but nothing really fancy. But yeah, the buildings look great. So as we come across the Air National Guard, as you can see, many of the hangars have lighting inside them, and the buildings have subtle lighting as well. So you jet jockeys are well catered for here. So that was dusk, and as you can see, the light is rapidly dropping here, as indeed it does in these latitudes. Let's bring it down to night time now and have a look. Okay, 10 PM local time. You can see the light. Sun has completely gone. We've got a lovely moonlit light above us. Clear skies, no weather set today. And yeah, what you've got in front of you is a really nice view. Adequate lighting where you need it. No centerline lights, but you've got blue airfield edge lights exactly where you want them. And stand lighting looks good from here. Your nose gear light is going to help you taxi, but once you get onto the main apron you should be fine. Looking to the north, down there to the lower right, you've got the executive terminal, and then across the runway up in the upper left you've got the Air National Guard hangars. Lighting's come up a bit there too, and various vehicles driving around with lights on, which is good. So there's the west ramp, again plenty of subtle lighting, and you can see the wigwags working down there below on the runway, and the runway signage is nice and bright. The displace threshold there to the right clearly can be clearly seen, no problems at all there. And there we are looking towards the south. There are the two runways, 29 left and right. Control tower in the distance there with a little bit of lighting, nothing too brilliant to write home about. But again, the lighting goes on right the way down here in the far south corner of the airport, so there's been a lot of work put into this. So here's the ramp close up. As you can see, the lighting here is pretty good. And as you can see from here, you don't have too far once you get off the taxiway towards the stands, so you need your nose gear light just a little bit. But finding your way into the stands I don't think is going to be a real problem. But you will need the nose gear light to help you. But as you can see from this shot, the lighting is lovely. The stand lighting is adequate, it's perfectly acceptable. The parallaxing on the windows works quite well actually, doesn't look too bad at all. And I like the way the buildings are lit. You've got the fuel farm in the distance that's been lit up as well. And this tungsten drop lighting just works too. It gives the kind of a sandy colour effect, which is what you expect of a desert airport. So just a closer look at the cargo ramp. I thought we'd have a look now that the sun has gone right down. And again, you can see the lighting is lovely. It's good to see the trucks. The lighting is very subtle. It just works, it really does. And just a close-up shot there showing you the buildings and the trucks. And there's a slightly higher level shot. You can see the terminal complex there to the left. Executive Centre in the distance, the multi-storey car park below us here, and then landside you go off to Tucson in the distance. It's very, very nice. Okay, so let's bring up the dawn. So 7:15 in the morning, there you can see the red glow from the sun to the east coming up behind us. And there you can see the sun rising in the east. Here's 29 right, 11 left. There's the fire station down there. And this is the back end of the cargo area. So 1 hour later, it's 8:15 in the morning, and time to wrap up the review and give you my thoughts. What do I think of it? This is a nice airport, and to be honest, I'm quite surprised. Feelthere have been developing quite a long time. Their development is okay. It's not, I wouldn't say it was the best. I've seen quite a few of their airports and a few of their additions, and they're perfectly adequate, but I wouldn't say they're outstanding. However, this is different. This is arguably the best version, certainly the best version of Tucson Airport you're likely to find if you want to pay the money. But also, this is probably one of their best sceneries. Feelthere, kudos to you guys for doing such a vast project. This is a big airport, and you've done lots of detail and work. And what's more, you've made it fit into the default terrain fairly seamlessly. And even the lower resolution photo stuff works in a way that it's really hard to describe. I'm not really too sure why, but it works, and it works well. This is definitely an airport to fly into and to enjoy. Do I think it's worth the price? It's at the higher end. I mean, €24 coming up for $26. Arguably a bit on the expensive side, but you have to balance that with the amount of work that's gone into this. I mean, it installs at just 1.5 gig, so it's not huge. But if you look at what they've done, I mean, they've lit and textured almost every building and structure within the airport project that they've done. The night lighting is lovely, no complaints about it at all. And when you talk about visually looking at an airport in the simulator and seeing how it fits into the rest and just how real it looks, that this is a really good example of that kind of thing. They've also completely done here, they've got the Air National Guard. That's been done in high detail, and the number of airplanes is unbelievable. The jet jockeys are well catered for. The ramp texturing, concrete texturing that's used is really good. I would say probably nearer sort of $23, maybe about 19 to 20 euros. So yeah, it's a little on the expensive side, but you know, not by much. And the good news is, remember, if you bought products by Feelthere before, certainly off Sim Market, if you go to the Sim Market page, the link is in the description below, you will find that there are discounts for people who've bought previous products from them. Various discounts are available. So that brings the price down, and who knows, they may have a sale. We've got Christmas coming up, and if the price comes down a few euros, I mean, yeah, it's great. Just to let you know, I bought this. I wasn't sent it. Feelthere. I've had no contact with Feelthere in the number of attempts that I've sent them messages to talk to them and ask them about their scenery. So this is the first one I've done for a while. But I purchased this, I bought it myself, I paid for it. And like I said, to be honest, I'm very happy with it. No problems with it at all. Price, yeah, is a little high. But for what you get here, You know, it's good. It's the best version out there. Beats anything I've seen so far. Very, very nice airport and very nice project. Very detailed. And for those of you who like to fly in the United States, jet jockeys included, this is a must. So congratulations to Feelthere for producing a really nice project, actually. So there you go, folks. Tucson International Airport in Arizona in the USA. Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra. A payware scenery by Feelthere, and this is version 1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Download is 696 meg and it installs at 1.45 gig. Currently it's available from SimMarket or from the Feelthere online shop. Give you the SimMarket price, which includes taxes, €23.40, which equates to $25.62 US roughly, or £20.29 UK. US and UK prices, as ever, are all estimates from the euro, and they include tax or VAT, which of course can vary depending on the country you're in when you make your purchase. And as I've said, for previous purchases of Feelthere products, there are discounts available on this scenery if you bought other projects from them. So there you go, folks. This is Lee wrapping up the second scenery review for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you had thoughts about this or kind of wondered about it, yep, it's a slightly on the expensive side, but we're not talking much really. What I can say, this is definitely the best version of this airport. There's a lot to see that I haven't covered, and it's great. I've kept the file size down, arguably usually because they've been using parallaxing on the windows, no internal terminal development, but it looks good. It really does look good, and it fits in well in the local terrain. The jetways are really good. They fit well, probably one of the best jetway designs I've seen, and yeah, everything you need is here. Thoroughly recommend this scenery, but yeah, who knows, look out for a price drop and you might get a bargain. So this is Lee saying thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all the people who've subscribed and those that comment. I'm getting very close now to 1,000 subscribers. When I do, I will be launching some kind of merch as well in the new year, so look out for that. And also I'm working with a developer to have my website and my whole sort of brand upgraded to the next level. So guys, if I don't see you again, have a great Christmas and a great December. I'm sure it's going to be okay. We'll be reviewing next week as well, and I've got one more review to try and get out this week too. So thanks again, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye for now.